Hello everyone, my name is Daniel Creel, brand ambassador of PinSecret. Today I got a really cool data point for you that is misunderstood or not used at all because people just don't know what it is. And it's going to be swing direction or the horizontal plane, depending on what unit you use. I'm with TrackMan today and it's going to be called swing direction, but the other units that do read it, sometimes like Flight Scope, they'll say that it's the horizontal plane, same data. So what's really cool about this is it defines basically the entire low portion of our golf swing. So it tells us the direction, the general direction the club is going. I always tell people from 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock. So basically the bottom half of the arc, some people call it the hula hoop, and it tells us basically the direction the club is going. So a lot of people think that Club Path does that. And Club Path, they actually define their swing as an in-to-out swing or an over-the-top swing, some terms like that. And Swing Path doesn't do that at all. All Swing Path is, or Club Path, is basically a snapshot of when the club makes contact with the ball. So you're going to understand it a little bit better on why swing direction is a little bit better one to focus to actually define what type of swing you have and to help find that stock shot. And also how to control mishits on the golf course. So if you have any questions on Club Path, refer to the link above. Went over that data point before. And today we're on swing direction. You'll see that I have basically these towels lined up here. And it's the bottom part. It's called the hula hoop right here. A lot of people talk about. And you'll see that this goes around and it looks fairly neutral. But actually, if you look on my screen behind me, it's a negative 2.4, and I'm going to just illustrate that real quick for you. So this gray line here is my target line, and you can see that on the downswing, that orange little arc here is right on my target line, but when it gets past the ball, it goes to the left. And the significance of that is it's 2.4 degrees left. I like my customers or my clients to have something close to zero, whether it's 1 degree, 2 degrees, but not much more than that because, and I actually prefer to see it left. Your better ball strikers are left due to at the bottom of the arc, we're not just like our setup. We actually have opened our hips and opened our shoulders ever so slightly. So our hips should be around 40 degrees open, and our shoulders should be anywhere from 25 to 32 degrees open at impact. And because of that, the club should be getting left. If we're actually swinging out away to the right side of the target for a right-handed golfer, if we're swinging left for a left-handed golfer, that means our swing plane is going to be a little bit too in to out. And when our hands and everything start separating from our bodies, it limits the rotation, okay? So I like to see the body working more around in this negative swing direction pattern. So let's swap to this camera and I'm going to show you why that doesn't mean that I'm going to swing, over the top, we'll say, in theory, for every golf shot. So you can see in this camera that this has an arc to it. So depending on ball position, depends on where my club path is, that snapshot. So if I hit this ball with a wedge, and I'm going to put this ball in the center of my stance, maybe just a hair front of center. And if I make contact with this, I'm actually swinging on the inside part of the arc. My club is actually traveling to the right of the target because I'm a right-handed golfer, and it'll ever so slightly start coming left. So the ball that's a little bit front of center will be roughly neutral. This will be, a positive path, and this will actually be a negative path. So due to understanding this and how this works, once you get a consistent horizontal plane or swing direction, you find your stock shot. That's when you really want to focus on this data point. You want to focus on this data point when you're working on it to find it. But once you get some consistency, you can start just messing with your alignment and your ball position to determine the shot shape, okay? So instead of trying to work on something at the top of your swing, the downswing, and all these difficult timing moves, you can literally get here and find something that's somewhat predictable. So if I'm hitting the ball constantly left of my target on the course, I can just literally move the ball back in my stance because my club is going to be slightly open coming through here, and I'm not going to be closing it as quick. And the thing is, that's only true if you don't force it. So if you understand how this works and you just let it naturally keep the same swing, move the ball a quarter of a ball back in your stance, the shot shape can straighten out tremendously. Also, your alignment. So understanding this, if you watch Ben Hogan or read any of his books, you'll notice that with his irons, he would move his back foot more towards the ball on his shorter irons because the ball was further back in the stance, which means basically his club face was going to be open, and the open stance lined him up to the left of his target line. The open face would push the ball a little bit more to the right, and knowing that, he would line up a little bit left and he would hit straight shots. As he got longer in the clubs, because the ball is further up in this arc, so we'll say driver right here, his club face is actually traveling a slightly more left. The club face is going to be closing down. So what he would do is drop his back foot back slightly, and what that would do is close him off to the target because his face is pointed left, so his feet are pointed a little bit right, face is pointed left, and in theory that would match up and he would hit straight shots. So again, understanding alignment and ball position, working with your swing direction or horizontal plane is very important, okay? You just can't confuse it with club path. This actually defines what kind of swing direction you have. And mine's around -2. I like to see it around -1.5 to -2.5. And again, I like to see it negative because we're in this dynamic motion where everything, my weight, my center of mass, everything is getting to the left side. Plus, I'm opening and rotating up to the left side of my target, which is going to pull the club left. It's not natural to swing out to the inside a lot, which a lot of golfers do, and it's a timing nightmare, okay? I like to see the hands really release around the golfer and exit the body really quick, while the club, so you'll notice here, my hands exit. You can't see my hands, but the club is still traveling down this little arc here. So I hope this helps explain swing direction. I think it's very important for the golfers that are really using these simulators to work on their game and hone in on a swing. This is a very important one to nail down. Once you nail it down and you find your shot pattern, then play around with ball position and alignment ever so slightly to tweak and fix and diagnose issues on the course. So this is how I use swing direction. It's going to benefit you if you understand it and dive into it. Thank you guys for tuning in, and happy pin seeking.